It's been a while since I've done a review, and honestly, I don't really intend to make a habit out of it. However, when I do stumble across something that genuinely catches my eye, and I'm like, wow, you know what? That wasn't that bad. I think I am going to put together a little review real fast, especially for something that looks more like an independent movie and probably doesn't get enough publicity. I enjoy digging through, the lesser known titles to get released and the more obscure stuff. I'm not really interested in just watching what's popular because honestly, what's popular is usually pretty much the same thing over and over again, and honestly, it's a little bit boring. Anyway, if you've ever watched Gremlins and enjoyed Gremlins, this is a movie you might want to consider watching, and that would be There's Something in the Barn. I think I got that name right. I'm not looking at anything. I'm not putting together a script for this. I'm not anything. I'm just winging it because I just watched it. I was actually eating some food and relaxing because I got everything done early this weekend. And I was like, hey, you know what? I actually got everything done. I have a little time to kill. So this is the result. There is a decent chance I'm going to have to let it sit for a while and wait for a little bit and honestly find a better time to actually give it a good watching. I tend to watch things at high speed anymore, especially when it has a bracing length of anything over an hour and 30 minutes. I'm sorry, universe. Some people seem to think that like an hour and 30 minutes to sit there and do nothing but watch TV is perfectly acceptable, but bleep no. I don't mean to be rude. I've got better things to do than watch things for an hour and 30 minutes. I will listen to stuff, I will read stuff, I will yada yada. But I mean, just sitting there and watching a movie. So I'm going to be honest, I didn't give it 100% of my attention. Like I said, I was eating and I played it at, a slightly faster speed than normal. So there are some things that maybe don't, come across the right way. That said, this is probably one of the first movies I've watched in a while that actually felt original. Genuinely original. Nothing they were not using some tired old idea. They're not using some tired boring story trope. They're actually pulling out something and they're kind of creating something new, and it happens to be a horror comedy, which is a bit of a tricky one to pull off if I had to give my personal opinion, mostly because horror and comedy don't exactly go hand in hand. Sometimes it's hilarious and it works, and sometimes, like with Gremlins, and most of the time it doesn't. Do I say that this one worked 100%? No. But if you're like me and you feel like we've been going through a 20-year famine between stories that are actually worth watching, and you're kind of just like, man, I really wish there was a story that doesn't feel like it was written by ChatGPT, and I need something new and original and creative and actually has kind of a point. Now, see there, I'm going to laugh a little because, the resolution to this story is very serious. But anyway, like I said, it does kind of work, across the board. It doesn't really follow the traditional rules of storytelling, but it does actually work. If I had to pick it, I'd have to say that this is the best horror Christmas elf movie set in Finland I have ever seen. So if you've ever watched Bubba Hotep, which is definitely the best Elvis Presley, JFK, and who else in a resting home versus the Mummy movie you've ever seen, it's kind of along those lines. This is definitely the best American family trapped in an isolated forest, cut off from civilization, hidden in, all that stuff. Okay, American family trapped in Norway, fighting a bunch of horrifying monster elves. Yeah, it's kind of like Bubba Hotep. What was that? Some sort of Bubba Hotep? Now, the one thing I cannot really 100% say for certain was great is the acting. Like I said, I'm not watching at normal speed because I just don't really like, do that anymore, like, ever. So, I mean, like, honestly, like, most of the acting I've seen recently has been bad. This is the first movie I've actually been like, you know what, I almost kind of wish I had watched the full 1 hour and 40 minutes without altering the speed at all, because I'm actually slightly curious. Some of the acting appeared to be very good. The opening scene was very catching, and I almost did watch it without changing the speed, but I didn't. So we're going to have to kind of put the acting on the hold. Now, that said, the production value was excellent. The storytelling was excellent. The pacing was excellent. And the conclusion was quite enjoyable. Would I call this an A movie? Would I call this a blockbuster? No, not really. Would I call it fun? Yes. There are things that you will only ever see if you watch this movie. I'm going to probably include most of the opening scene, if YouTube allows it, for the beginning here of this clip, because, man, that opening scene is quite excellent. We'll see. YouTube is a bit picky about these things anymore. Anyway, about the worst that can be said for this is you get a lecture from the Finnish about how they don't all go around carrying guns. And it is probably one of the funniest moments in the movie. If you're looking for something different, if you don't really enjoy the traditional feel-good, happy-lovey Christmas movies, but you still want a family movie about how the family needs to overcome adversity and come together and appreciate the holiday and so on and so forth, then this is probably the movie for you. I will be doing other stuff, guys. I'm just going to throw this one out here because I know some of you guys did tag along because I actually do movie reviews. I really haven't actually seen anything else that catches my eye nearly as good as this. So give it a shot. If you like it, you like it. If you don't, it's no skin off my back. But it's definitely one that should not disappear into obscurity. This could easily become one of those cult classics.